Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Masters of the Retroverse. Happy Halloween, everyone. We're recording a few days after Halloween, but who cares? It's still the spirit. We're still in the Halloween spirit, right?
Oh yeah.
Always in the Halloween spirit.
I just like
and
horror.
and Stranger Things
Yeah.
and all kinds of good shit.
Hell yeah.
All kinds of good stuff out, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's been a couple weeks. It's been a crazy last couple weeks for me with work and all that stuff. And I know you've had a lot going on.
Oh
We just
yeah.
haven't had a chance to get together to record. So
Yeah.
here we are.
Yep.
Here we are.
Yeah. Fucking I watched that damn Stranger Things all the way through while I was texting you about it. Now we can't even talk about everything on it because you haven't caught up to it.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about it here in a little bit because yeah, I mean I'm 2 episodes in.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. But what else has been going on with you, man? Anything good?
Uh work's been all right. It hasn't been too crazy. Starting to pick up, so it should get crazy here in a little bit,
Yeah.
I had the first op in like 2 months. 2 months. And I was the only one for that op. So we'll see how it goes from here. Tempo is supposed to pick up, and I'm probably gonna be working my rear end off. So,
Yeah, you've been working a lot lately, man. You've been putting in some hours.
yeah.
You tell the old boss man to lay off a little bit.
Well, I don't know. We got a new boss man. See how he is. Yeah, he's an older gentleman. Never been in charge of anybody before.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
He has the degree, so he's in the C. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's in for a treat, man. He's in for a treat. I would love to tell my boss to fuck off, but the only boss that I have is the owner of the company.
Yeah.
So I don't really have much choice. I just got to work my ass off and get shit done. Isn't that what it's all about?
Yeah, it is.
MTFU and get shit done, right?
MTFU.
Oh man, that group is so great. There's some really good shit that comes off there. I'm so glad that you added me to that group.
Yeah, man. The group's crazy, man, that it took off so fast. Like the first week it was on, I was like member number 147 or something like that. And then in the next 3 weeks, we're up to 4,000 members. And it just kept on going and going and going. Right now, we're getting close. We're getting close up to 30,000 here soon. It's 23,000. It's over 23,000.
Damn. Well, maybe since we're promoting the Facebook page, that they'll let us post our YouTube video and our podcast on there just to help promote a little bit. But yeah, it's go check it out, everybody. It's called MTFU, Man the Fuck Up, and it's a cool page. It's just pretty much anything. I mean, people post all kinds of goofy shit on there.
Well, it's a closed group, so
yeah. It's a group. It's not a page, but it's a group. Yeah. But still, I mean, we might have the opportunity to help the group grow a little bit more from this, and
yeah,
it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, they do, awesome charity stuff. He works his ass off. That dude, Chris Morris, is unbelievable in the amount of work, effort, and just dedication he has to that group and to the community of Spokane, Washington as a whole. Like, there was a joke on that page not too long ago that Chris should run for mayor. And like, honestly, here in a few years, I think he should, because he's going to be well known from what he's doing, So good dude, good group, and they have good intentions. So
yeah, that's awesome, man. Good deal. Well, before we get started, I want to point out the machine behind you. I want you to tell the viewers, if you're on YouTube, you'll see if you're listening to the podcast, go check out the YouTube channel. You can see David's little contraption behind him there. It looks kind of kinky.
Yeah, well, it has really nothing to do with what we go over. I usually have my green screen up, but this is what's behind the green screen when it's up and running.
Literally behind the curtains.
Yeah, literally behind the curtains of the green screen. So actually, I record from in my shop, and in my shop, this is where like a lot of things happen, the magic per se. I work on engines and all that stuff. But the thing behind me is a snowboard press, and I'm finishing it, putting it together. It's got the 3 air bladders and all that stuff. And then I have about 70 something of these little 19-inch metal bars that go across and get a cable ran through them. And then they sit on little bungees like this. So when that air bladder fills up, it pulls those bars down and presses against the wood on the bottom. And then you have a thing called a cassette. And that's what your snowboard's in before it's cut out.
So is it fiberglass?
Yeah, it pushes fiberglass. So it presses the fiberglass, sandwich construction. It sits in a metal cassette, and that pressure from the hose and those bars right there, they'll push down on it, and then they seat it. So, and it sits for a few, hours, but I'll have a heat blanket in there too. So it'll cut my construction time down to about 12 minutes or less per board.
12 minutes. You can knock out a board in 12. Well, I mean, you got the paint and all that stuff, but
no. The paint's already done. The only thing you have to do after that is cut, tune, and all that shit.
Nice. Did you make that yourself?
Yeah. So it's it's four aluminum I-beams, and then on each end there's a larger I-beam. It's a 12 or 15 inch aluminum I-beam that's damn near over a quarter inch thick, and it's got some 8 grade hardware on there to hold it all down and all that stuff. And then the bladders are just pressed together with 2 pieces of metal, drilled holes through it, all that stuff, and screwed in my own fittings to fit up to the air compressor. And then I hold the pressure at about 85 to 90 psi.
Nice. Well, go check out his Facebook page, Do Anything Snowboards, and you can see all the great creations that he's made. And I got to ask you about that Triumph gas tank, dude. Do you have a Triumph?
Yeah, I have a 1970 Triumph TR6.
Oh my God, I love those bikes, dude.
Yeah.
I've worked on so many of those when I worked at the old car museum here. Yeah. And I love Triumphs and Nortons, dude. I love those fucking bikes. Man.
Yeah. So I've had the pleasure to be like the second hand to a man. His name is Triumph Mike. He's down here in North Carolina. The guy is amazing. He's originally from New Jersey. He's taught me so much. Lowbrow customs. I'm not trying to plug anybody, but like I've been working on Triumph motorcycles. Like I've had this bike apart, like doing different things to it, trying to fine tune it, trying to fix it to where I want it exactly. Like I've had the engine apart and it's sitting on the deal right over here. You can't see it because it's the same plane as the computer, but I've had that engine apart 3 or 4 times total now to switch things out in it and stuff like that. It's a 1970 TR6.
Badass, dude. That's really cool. Very cool, man.
Yeah.
So this week we're just gonna talk about Halloween in general. We're gonna get into a little bit of Stranger Things, a little bit, and we're gonna talk about what else were we gonna talk about?
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah. How the hell can I forget? So it's not gonna be too much of a retro themed. I mean, we're gonna talk about Halloween and as a kid and all that stuff. But we're just gonna talk about we're gonna geek out, talk about some of the stuff that we love, because I think both of us have been really excited about those 2 shows.
It's what we do. We geek out.
We geek out. We are geeks, yes, sir. And we got the toy show coming up this weekend.
Oh my God.
We are recording on the 3rd. It is this Sunday, and I am so excited because I am going to be going in my cosplay costume, my brand new one that I just made, my Deadpool costume. I am fucking stoked for that.
So mad at you. Like I hate it. I wish I was in a place that had these damn toy shows and all the shit that you have.
So start one, man. Start one. You should do that. I mean, you don't know how many people are out there. So get a group, start a Facebook group for people in your area, like toy collectors and stuff. And
I'm sure there's Memory Lane Comics down in Wilmington probably has, or probably knows of something that goes on here. Cro-Mag Toys up in Raleigh. I'm sure there's something that goes on up there. It's just they're so far away, and like there's not really a place to host some shit like that here.
Well, like they do ours at a machinist hall, like a union hall, and they rent that out for the day. I don't know how much it is. It's probably not much, but it's huge and it's plenty big to hold. I mean, there's usually 200 or 300 vendors there. And everything, everything you've heard me talk about it. So, but it's huge. I mean, just start looking into that and start one, man. If it's something you're loving, you're passionate about, start one. I mean, it may take a while to kick off and get going,
really
but
passionate about your headphones there. I just noticed. Sorry,
my headphones. You like my headphones? I got them brand new. They don't hurt my ears.
Yeah, they look comfy.
Yeah, they are. They're very comfortable, man. I like them.
I'm in your head.
You are in my head all the time. I can't stop thinking about you, David.
Sorry.
So how was your Halloween, man? Did you guys have fun?
Have that effect. So mine, I have this thing about being around a whole bunch of people. So you obviously know how that went. But my kids, yeah, they had a blast. They had their bags full, and I was like, I saw their bags on top of the refrigerator, looked at them. I was like, wow, they got a lot of freaking candy, you know? And then I get up in the morning, like this morning, and I had the day off. So I kind of like, I woke all of them up, and then I like went in my bedroom and like played the new Assassin's Creed. And then I came back out after everybody was gone, and I was like, I looked up on the refrigerator. I was like, what the hell happened to their candy? And Dana comes home today, and she's like, yeah, I got rid of all the bad crap. All the good stuff's left.
Yeah.
What are you talking? There's like a third of their candy left. Like,
yeah, that's all the shit that you know they're not going to eat. Might as well get rid of it, because we do that too. You know, because it's going to set, and then it's going to be next Halloween, and you're still going to have candy left over. So we just pick through it and throw shit away.
Hayden will eat all the candy. You don't care what the fuck it is. So like, I don't know. She used it to take it to their school for prizes for their little fall festival.
Nice.
Yeah,
I saw on the news. It was the day after Halloween. There's a place here, down in St. Louis, and I think there's several places that you could take your candy and basically cash it in. They would give you, I don't know, like $1 a pound or something like that for it.
That's
like, hell yeah. And take all that crap and go sell it.
Wow. Crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in the day when we were getting candy, man, we go for blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks.
Man, we would stay out all night.
There's curfews and shit now. There's hours of operation for trick-or-treating.
And it's a very small window, too. You have like from
hours.
Well, yeah, you have from like 6 o'clock, because that's usually about the time people are home and they're set up and ready for the little kids. And it only goes until 8 o'clock, maybe 9 o'clock. I think by about 8:30, we kind of quit having people coming around. And our neighborhood's really busy because there's a ton of kids. But it was good. It was fun, man. I walked around in my Deadpool costume with my kids, and
yeah,
I think I got more recognition from the kids recognizing who I was than the adults. You know, it was kind of funny.
Really?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think a lot of the adults probably thought I was just a big nerd because I was walking around in a costume. But I had a couple people that were handing out candy. You know, they're like, "Oh, here, take a piece of candy. That's really cool that you dress up with your kids and go out with them and stuff." I'm like,
"Oh, you'd had to shave your face, but if you could have put like rubber cement and shit on your face to make it look like
I wanted to do
your mask up to eat the candy. That would have been awesome."
Yeah, like I wanted to do that. I was telling my uncle, I'm like, man, that would be awesome if I had the talent to do my face up like it was all burnt up and shit.
Rubber cement, dude.
Yeah. I'd have to shave though, like you said. That's that ain't gonna happen.
You have to walk around with sticky shit on your face too. That's not
well, I mean, they have
that's not usually something that happens to us. I'm just saying.
Not usually. Not me anyway. Maybe you.
No.
Oh shit. But no, like, yeah, man, when I was a kid, it seemed like there was just tons of kids walking the neighborhoods, man. You know, it takes me back to that scene in E.T. where there's just like droves of kids walking around, and it's not like that anymore. You know, the neighborhood that we lived in before, it was an older neighborhood, so there was a lot of older people. And man, I mean, we would buy 2 bags of candy and we'd have a bag and 3/4 left. And it got to the point where we were just dumping candy in the kids' bag. Like, we just dump half a bowl in there. Here, take what we got, because it's going to go to waste.
Yeah. So this well, not this Halloween. So I bought this house in 2008, and we had the highest expectations. You know what I mean? Like I should have thought about it because we already came into a well-developed community. My house is older. It's 1983 is when it was built, and because I didn't want to stay here in Jacksonville that long, so I wasn't going to buy a $250,000-$300,000 house yet. So, and now it's kind of bit me in the ass. So, like, trick-or-treaters, they don't come by. It's kind of sad. But the first year, I have a big, it's called a Bradford pear tree in my front yard. I took it down last year. But I had a strobe light up in the tree, and it would flash down at the front door and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then underneath my garage door, or in my garage, I had a strobe light and I had a fog machine going. And then I had my stereo with the soundtrack from Trick or Treat the movie.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. So, but it wasn't like, it was like a good Halloween thing. Like, like it was so varied. It wasn't like, this is what we're going to play for a minute and 15 seconds. It was like, it would go back and forth from like a chainsaw and the creepy noise and all that crap.
And, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
She had a lot of kids.
Yeah, totally. I had one trick-or-treater, and he was 1.5. He was 1.5, and me and the wife, we went to Sam's Club, and we got we had like 4 trays of the legit candy bars. 3 Musketeers, Snickers, Twix, full-size candy bars we were giving away at the house.
Damn.
So we had the flash. It was going. It was loud. It was like, wow, chainsaws going, all that shit. I'm sitting in a rocking chair at the front door, right, with the strobe light was going.
Yeah.
Fog was rolling underneath our garage door or whatever. And I had reached in. I had blood all over my arm or whatever, like fake blood. And I reached from underneath the garage door, and I was like grabbing it, like I was trying to get out. And I raised the garage just enough, like this much or so, and the fog would roll out, and the strobe light was flashing, and the blood was on there. Music was playing, strobe lights and shit. We had a little bit of bones in the front yard hanging from the tree and shit. And I had a 1.5-year-old show up.
Oh, shit.
I had to turn everything. I was sitting in a rocking chair. I had a scarecrow mask on with a bowl. I was holding the bowl. Because you know how people put the bowls out, right?
Right.
Trick-or-treating. I had the bowl, and I had a sticky note on my hand. It said, take one.
That's awesome, dude. I love that, man.
Yeah. And I was like,
I'm gonna have to keep that in mind for next year.
Because I had the scarecrow mask on. But yeah, I had the 1.5-year-old, so I had to take everything off. I was like, Dana, turn everything off, like, because I didn't want to scare the shit out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of little kids.
Yeah, it was still light out.
Little bitty ones, running around.
But all that's why I had full-size candy bars,
Yeah, hell yeah. Them kids are missing out. They are missing out, man, because that's the way to go. You remember as a kid, you'd always find the people that were handing out the big candies. You knew which neighbors had like the crap, like they were handing out apples or they were handing out pennies.
Razor blades.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because so many of us got hurt by razor blades and needles and shit in our candies. I don't think I've ever heard of anybody ever having that happen. But it was such a big thing when we were kids. It was like we would take our candy to the fire department, or no, it was to the hospital. We would take our candy to the hospital, and they would X-ray it to make sure that there was nothing in it.
Really?
Remember that? Yeah. You never did that?
I never had that. No. Huh?
Yeah. Like the hospitals were set up to where, you bring it in and they scan it or whatever. And you're good to go. I don't think anybody's ever gotten hurt by freaking razor blades or needles or any of that bullshit. I mean, the ones you like if we got something that was homemade or something, we would kind of just kind of throw it away, whatever.
Yeah. Like caramel apples and shit.
Caramel apples.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, as a kid, do you have a favorite Halloween costume that you had? Like, what was your most memorable Halloween costume?
Oh, shit, dude. Just like you in the 80s, I think Well, so you ran around this Halloween as Deadpool, which is technically a ninja, right?
Basically, yeah, basically.
I think every kid in the 80s had the ninja costume on. That was me. Multiple fucking years.
Yeah.
Multiple. It just came, and my ninja costume just became more and more legit, all the way to the split-toed fucking shoes.
Damn, you was legit, dude.
Oh yeah.
So I think for me, the big thing was it was ninjas. Yeah, ninjas. I think I might have been a ninja one year, but remember punk rock? Being a punk rocker was like the big thing for a lot of us for like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 years. You know,
Really?
we'd have like, yeah, we would take and we'd like frizz our hair like straight up or spike it or whatever and spray paint in all these different colors and shit and have these, you know, crazy ripped up clothes and stuff. And, you know, nothing really spooky. One year though, because I was too old to trick or treat. I was probably like 14 or 15. And, you know, by then you're just not into it. None of your friends are doing it. So I'm like, I'll stay home and hand out candy. So what I did was I put on a large sweatshirt and large sweatpants, and I stuffed my sweatshirt with a pillow, and I stuffed like sheets and pillowcases and stuff down the sleeves. I put gloves on. I put a Jason mask on, pulled the hood up, and I sat on the front porch really still. And I even pulled my hands inside my fingers inside my gloves, so that way, like, people would walk up, kids would walk up, and they'd like grab your hand. It would feel like it was fake. They're really fucking still. So mind you, at the house that we lived in, our front porch was pretty small. It was maybe like 4 foot wide, maybe 4 foot deep, but this fucking porch was like 3 feet high off the ground. I mean, it was pretty high, 2 foot high. And we had these giant bushes on each side of like these fern bushes on each side of the steps coming up. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'll never forget it. I was sitting there and I had the bowl of candy in my lap. And this kid walks up and he's kind of really hesitant. He walks up and he pokes me. And he feels like the cushion. He like grabs my finger, you know, to make sure, is this real or what? So then he goes to reach in and I just reached out and grabbed him. And that fucking kid fell off. I swear to God, man, it was like such a liability. It was such an insurance liability, man. I'm surprised my dad didn't kill me. But he fell off the porch. Luckily, he didn't hurt himself, but I scared the shit out of this kid. And it was just the best ever as a teenager, you know? That's awesome. Yeah, it was good times, you know? But, I mean, it was awesome because, like, my dad would take my little brother out, my dad, my stepmom, and I would, you know, I'd go out and do my little thing, and I'd come home, and I'd watch scary movies. Like, they had scary movies on all night. Yeah, and it's just like this big thing, you know? The Halloween, all holidays were just this huge thing, and now it seems like it's just so marketed that you just really can't enjoy it like you used to. You know, it's just not what it used to be.
No, man, it's definitely not what it used to be.
I mean, fuck, Halloween night, the Target by our house, by Halloween, they already had all the Christmas shit out. Like, they were packing up all the Halloween stuff. They're putting it on clearance, and they were setting out Christmas trees and shit. I'm like, are you kidding me? It's not even Halloween yet.
Dude, nobody cares about Halloween anymore. Nobody cares about Thanksgiving. All they care about is fucking Christmas and selling toys and selling fucking all this shit to the masses.
Yeah, I'm already getting magazines like the Christmas wish list magazines from Target. Toys R Us.
Yeah,
Walmart. They've already. I mean, I got that shit like a week and a half ago, and it's like, come on, man, one thing at a time here.
Some things you wish never fucking changed. And to be honest with you, yeah, there was some fucking horrible shit that happened in the 80s, right? With child abduction and all that crazy shit, right? But like actually growing up in the 80s was fucking unbelievable.
80s and 90s, yep. Absolutely.
You were in the 80s, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I'm only 2 years younger than you.
Okay. I turn 40 next month.
Yeah. Oh, you old fucker. So old.
Yeah, I'm so old.
But yeah, so what was what was your favorite, or what is your favorite candy that you would get on Halloween?
Well, I still haven't answered your one question. I said I was
okay.
I said I was a ninja, but I never told you what my favorite costume was. My favorite costume, it was 1988. My mother actually helped me get everything I needed for this costume. I had the sweater, perfect. I had the hat, perfect. I had the glove, perfect.
I know what you're doing. I know what you got going on.
I even had the face perfect. It was a cutout face. You took the little glue and you glued everything in place so your mouth would move correct and all this stuff and paint you up.
Nice.
I just would go through people's nightmares.
Nightmares. Did you haunt their dreams?
I sure in the fuck did.
Was it on Elm Street?
I loved it, dude. I loved it. It was the only year I had a yellow and green Christmas sweater. It was great.
That's awesome.
It was great, dude. Yeah, 1988. That was
yeah,
crazy.
I don't really recall like any great costumes that I had. I'm sure I had some, but I was always like the typical, I would just throw shit together just to make something up, Other than back in the early 80s, we had the plastic mask with the smock or whatever it was that said
it was the plastic. It was the thin plastic fucking shit.
That said He-Man on it. And he had the fucking mask that you couldn't see shit out of. So you were tripping over everything all night long. Yeah. Because the eyes were they're like an inch too far apart, so you couldn't see shit. Yeah. Yeah, that was that was way back in the day.
Yeah, I had did I have any of those? I think I had G.I. Joe. Like, there was Halloweens I didn't get to pick my costume. My mom just was like, you got them in a little square box, remember? Now they're all hung up and like everything's like fucking awesome. When you go to the store and you look at the costumes, like these things were in literal boxes, dude, and they were stacked when we were kids. People don't get that. Like, it was a square box, had a cellophane fucking front on it. You could see the mask, and behind it was the plastic schmuck.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
We got our Halloween costumes.
Yep, that was it, man. You spend $5 at Venture or Kmart or whatever it was, and got your costume, and that was it.
Yep,
you were good to go.
Yeah, it was. I think I had G.I. Joe. I had like Sergeant Savage or whatever the fuck his name was.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Slaughter, yeah.
Yeah.
Green pants. He had the 40 Mike shit draped across his chest.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even look like him. Like it.
No, but it said Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe on the smock, so you knew. I mean, everybody knew who.
Yeah. I think that was more or less for the adults. Be like, oh, little Sergeant Slaughter.
God.
Oh, look, it's Lino.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know I had He-Man, and I know I had the E.T. one too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember any other ones that I had, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
What about the candy? What was your favorite candy that?
My favorite candy is still my favorite candy to this day. Sixlets.
Sixlets.
Yeah.
What? Chiclets or sixlets?
Sixlets. So it's the little. It's all chocolate wrapped with candy shell. It's in a little thin pouch, and it's got little ball bearings.
Oh yeah. It comes in a long
yellow, brown, orange.
Yeah.
They were pretty long. They used to come in really long ones when you got the legit one.
Right.
But,
yeah, I love those, man, because you take the first one and you
push,
like, pop it through. Yeah. And you just take it, sit there, and just pop the rest of them up. Yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. I love that.
That was my favorite candy. It still is my favorite.
Yeah. Mine was, and still is. I mean, I've got like 3 or 4. Butterfinger, Reese's peanut butter cups.
Well,
and Heath bars.
Heath bars.
Oh my god, dude, those are the best.
That's good. I like Heath bars, man. I like that. What is it? Toffee.
Toffee, yeah, man. It's so good, dude. Like I go to Dairy Queen or something. I always get like the Heath Blizzard or whatever it is with them all crushed up. Oh my god, dude, it's so good.
Yeah.
What about your least favorite? Like what are some candies that just make you just want to fucking puke thinking about them?
So I was never a fan of the old well, back in the day, not recently, you used to get the peanuts. They're not peanuts, but they were the marshmallow. It was a single one.
Yep.
I hated those. I hated the little sun-kissed fucking fruit chews. Remember those?
Yeah.
Like the old candies. I hated those. The fuck else? Like what was really bad?
Those circus peanuts are number one on my list of things that I cannot stand. And those and Peeps. Like I
Peeps,
fucking hate Peeps, dude. I hate those things. And I know it's not Halloween, it's more like Easter, but they kind of fall in the same lines. Like I just cringe when I think about them.
Version of the Peeps, remember?
Oh, I'm sure they do. Yeah, little pumpkins or something.
Well, yeah, it was pumpkins. Yeah, exactly.
God, that's so gross.
Another one is so you always hate the people that hand you the toothbrush and the toothpaste.
Right. Yeah. Those are the people that got their fucking house egged.
Yeah, like what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, hey, I have this sitting on my sink at home. Thanks, fucker.
Yeah. Yeah, we had one old man in our neighborhood, and I always hated going to his house. He handed out some really good candy, but he would always make you tell him a joke. Tell me a joke. You say trick or treat. Tell me a joke, and I'll give you a piece of candy. And there was some like I got older. I'm like, fuck this guy, and I just walk off. Anyway, just give me some damn candy. I ain't doing shit for you.
Damn candy, fool.
Yeah, I hated those. And remember those?
Herbert pervert.
Right, man, boy. Do you remember those little candies? They were in orange and black wrappers, and they were like some sort of toffee, like peanut butter, like fake nasty peanut butter toffee. Like they had no name brand or anything on them. They were just in a black. Some were in a black wrapper, some were in an orange wrapper.
I forgot all about those, dude. Those are horrible.
Yeah, those were bad. And I love peanut butter, but those things were so bad.
Like what the fuck? Like what were those?
I don't know. I mean, I've never seen. I think they were just like a generic candy,
almost like a Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, but they were bigger, more like the size of like a big piece of bubble gum or something.
Okay.
Yeah, those were bad.
Yeah. Back in the day, I liked Snickers too, I think. If you want mainstream. Snickers, Reese's. Like, those are the good ones. You're like, oh, man, let's go back to the house.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that's the type of shit that I always steal out of my kids, my kids' bucket.
Let's switch our masks and go back to the other.
Yeah. Yeah, you always make your second rounds towards the end of the night because, all the trick-or-treaters are dying off and that, yeah. So you go home and you like take off your mask and put on a hat or put on put a pillowcase over your head or something and go back out.
Like the new Exorcist. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched that?
No, The show?
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it yet. I think it's on my list to watch, though.
You need to watch it.
I will watch it. Well, let's talk about things that we're watching because we got a lot of stuff here to cover. Okay. So let's talk briefly about Stranger Things. So I'm only 2 episodes in. It's one of those shows that it's one of the few shows that I like to watch with my wife. Her and I kind of watch it together.
That's good.
So we don't have a whole lot of time together without the kids and stuff. So we usually watch it when we're laying in bed. After the kids go to bed, we'll watch like 1 episode, and then that's about all I can take. I'm usually ready to fall asleep. But so far, I mean, it's really good, man. I'm really digging it. I'm still at that point right now, 2 episodes in, where I don't really know what's going on yet.
Yeah. Well, you know that what's his name is still tied to the Upside Down.
Yeah, Will. Yeah, Will's still tied to that. The last episode, the end of that episode, and spoilers if you haven't watched it. All I see is that Dustin kid opens the trash can. He sees the trash can moving and knocking around. He opens it up and he goes, "Holy shit!" And that was where I left off. So I'm really anxious to see what the hell that is. And I know you can't say anything. You're dying to say something right now.
Let's just go with D'Artagnan.
D'Artagnan. Okay.
You lead with that, and then you'll be like, David, you motherfucker.
Am I going to be cussing you?
Nah, just D'Artagnan. But so that's where you left off. I'm trying to it's really hard because I know. So to be honest with you, spoilers, I've watched the whole fucking thing. I had a day where I had to sit in a truck and watch little things on a map move around. So
playing your damn video games.
Yeah. So I took the visor, took my phone, put my phone in the visor, pressed play, had the computer right here, and I watched the computer for my peripheral. Every 45 minutes, my alarm went off. Stop recording, start recording. Stranger Things.
God, I wish I had that job. Not really. I'd get too bored too quick.
Yeah. No, it gets bad. That was a laptop up in a truck with not a lot going on. Like all we were doing is tracking their movement. So, but to get back to Stranger Things. So, okay. We left off last season with the sheriff Hopper going out to the forest and leaving a cookie and whatever, a glass of milk or whatever he did. He was leaving.
It wasn't Santa Claus. He wasn't fucking. It was Eggo waffles, dipshit.
Obviously,
trying to fucking cook.
Like, cookie.
He wasn't trying to coax Santa Claus in. So,
hey, we're getting close to Christmas, right? So. We left off last season. He was leaving the Eggo waffle and all that stuff out in the woods. We didn't know what for. We had thoughts it was 11. Well, guess what? It was Elle. Spoiler: like you learn her name if you didn't already know it. But you should if you're paying attention because it was mentioned one time in the last season.
Yeah.
But you get left off with everything going around. You start the season off. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know where you want to go with this because I really have to tread lightly because you've seen 2 episodes, but like so much shit has happened.
Yeah.
On down the road that just is mind blowing, and you're like, oh my God.
Well, I'll tell you what, the next time we record, I'll make sure that I've watched the entire season and we can go into it in depth and talk about it. And yeah, so I mean, in the next week, 2 weeks, next time we record, I'll watch all of them. So that'll be my home.
We can go in. They introduced some new antagonists. They introduced a couple new characters.
The doctor guy, the therapist or whatever he is. Do you recognize him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor, the therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize him, but has Bob been introduced to you yet? I can't remember if you've seen Bob yet.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Goonies Never Say Die is coming to.
Oh, yeah. That's a Winona Ryder's boyfriend or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's in there.
Which is really cool because that's kind of an 80s throwback right there with the Goonies thing. Now, the doctor, I didn't realize. I'm like looking at him like, God, he looks familiar. And my wife's like, yeah, he was on Mad About You. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's Paul Reiser.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, he was on Mad About You. He was on that show, My Two Dads, I think, way back in the day. I think that was him, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. But yeah, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen him in anything in years.
Yeah.
Which is another 80s throwback.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole bunch of 80s throwbacks in there. Have you seen the 2? You've seen season episode 2. I'm trying to see if have you been introduced? Have you gone to the school yet? Are you in the school at all? Have you seen like stuff happen within the school within Hawkins?
No, I saw 11 crawl out of the upside down, but that was a flashback though, where she crawled out and then she went over to Will's house or Mikey's house and and all that stuff. But no, I mean, I haven't really seen anything school wise because the last episode was the one where they dressed up as Ghostbusters and nobody else in school dressed up. They felt like idiots. And then the Mad Max thing, the redheaded little girl.
You just answered my question.
What?
I said, did you see anything in school? They went to school dressed as Ghostbusters.
Well, I didn't know what you were talking about. I thought you were talking about something major that happened in the school or something.
Yeah, I saw that. You're talking about Mad Max now. So,
yeah.
Okay, so now I can talk about Mad Max and her brother.
Right, her brother, yeah, with the bitchin' Camaro.
The bitchin' Camaro and the tight butt. What?
Only you would look.
No. Come on, man.
You're checking it out. Come on.
The screen zoomed in to the butt, but he's not even attractive. I'm married to
a woman. He's totally not your type. He's a bad boy. You don't like the bad boys.
No.
Yeah, and so like right now I'm like enthralled in the whole mystery of like who they are, because when they're in the car and he almost runs the kids down, he's like, she said, well, it's all your fault that we're here or whatever. He's like, whose fault really is it? And she never really said, so I'm still kind of in the mystery right now of who
they don't tell. Okay, so not to give any spoilers, I'm not going to give you any spoilers with saying this to you, but they don't really tell their story that great, like ever. Like it's a straight up like divorced, move to like there's
okay, so it's nothing really.
There's no real fucking mysterious story with those two characters, and they did not do a good job if they just wrote them into the story or whatnot. They didn't do a good job with those.
Well, they're probably trying to keep the focus on the other kids and the story, the ongoing story of the Demogorgon and the Upside Down and all that stuff.
Demogorgon's done.
Yeah, he's dead. But they have the thing that you were talking about earlier, the giant freaking
shadow monster.
Mind something or mind fear. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you see it in the first episode. It isn't called that. It isn't until later that they call it the mind fear. They call it the shadow monster. They toy with it and they turn it into the mind fear. But everything with this, it's like this whole season's still a tie. Excuse me. It's still tied in a lot to the Dungeons and Dragons realm and everything that goes on like that with Mad Max, and not trying to say anything, but like there's a whole nother dynamic that gets thrown in there.
Yeah. So since you've seen the entire season, do you think that they did season 2 justice? And the reason I ask this is because there's so many shows out there that are just amazing the first season. And it's like it just goes to shit the second season.
Everything. I can't answer your question.
Did you like it? I mean, did you like it? Do you think that it?
I liked everything but one thing at the end. How about that?
But you think as for a second season of a show that's big, you think that they did it justice?
Yeah.
I mean, in general, yeah. Okay.
Without a doubt, the only thing is you're like, why the fuck are people's minds not fucking blown about all of this shit going on in Hawkins? Like, that's the question you want to ask yourself, really.
Right.
Because season 1, they go from just being introduced to a little bit of telekinetics and Elle and all her abilities and all that shit. Well, it didn't even really happen till the end, until she smashed the van and made the van flip over him, and it was just one van. Now it happens, it's like fucking 80 vans come out of nowhere, and it's like fucking mind-blowing. Like, so they took it from one extreme to the other.
Yeah. So I mean, you've already seen her flip a van in the first season, so it really wasn't a big deal. So it's kind of one of those go big or go home type deals. They gotta build it up and make it.
I want a little bit more of a backstory I want a little bit more of a backstory or an in-between story between season 1 and season 2, explaining like how these guys how fucking what the fuck? How the hell that God, I'm drawing a blank. What the fuck was that show? The same guy that you're talking about. Wonder Years, dude.
Yeah. Right? No, he wasn't on Wonder Years.
He wasn't Wonder Years? Isn't he related to Wonder Years, dude?
No. Paul Reiser? You talking about Paul Reiser?
Yeah.
No.
Related to him? He looks like he's related to him.
No, I don't think he is.
Savage look. I think they look a lot alike. You're like looking at the camera like this motherfucker just went nuts. So, but yeah, Paul Reiser. How did that changeover happen? How did it occur?
From the doctor to him, from Elle's dad or whatever.
I want a little bit more connectivity to that.
Yeah. Well, they probably couldn't fit that all in though, too. I mean, they can only do so many backstories, and really you get a little bit of that in between. Well, yeah, but you get a little bit of that in between stuff with the flashbacks from Elle and Will and all that stuff. But I guess that part of the story probably wasn't as important to the story or to the timeline. But yeah, you're right. I mean, because all of a sudden I'm like, where the fuck did this guy come from? Who is he? I mean, yeah, I know he's the therapist for the corporation that, did all that shit to Elle. I did see also what was the first episode, so obviously I saw it, but the other, like the bad 11 or what was her number 9 or whatever the hell it was, 7 or whatever it was, the one where she made the guy think that the bridge was like collapsing or the tunnel was collapsing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. You're good. You caught on to that. So yeah. Not sure to do spoilers, but that story will develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So,
well, let's save a lot of that for next episode, and we'll talk more in depth on that. Let's talk about The Walking Dead.
Okay.
I want to get your first impressions of this season. We're just 2 episodes in. What are your impressions of this season? Because you and I both are hardcore Walking Dead fans. Been that from the beginning.
Yeah. So, like, anybody who's watching this right now that hasn't seen The Walking Dead or whatnot, you need to stop watching and go watch the 2 first episodes of The Walking Dead and come back to this. There you go.
Yeah, spoilers. Yep.
So, yes, the first episode, it was nice to see Rick back at his game. It was good to see him use his diabolical mind to further the Hilltop, Alexandria, and the Kingdom, and have them come together. I'm really disappointed that Oceanside didn't get their heads out of their ass and join the fight too. But to have him go in there and pretty much wipe all of fucking Negan's forces out, every single bit, and then to come into this next episode, like, there's a lot of little small things that happen too, but I'm just talking big picture shit, like Big Blue Arrow shit. It was unbelievable that when Rick came in with the second episode after Negan fucking limped away from that first fight, and then now he has fucking the priest in the room with him. That's the last we saw of Negan. But now, the second episode, we have gone and cleared that building, right? We cleared out
one of their outposts. Yeah.
Cleared that outpost out with Rick in it, and Rick's cleared all the way up. He thought there was going to be something that was supposed to be there that wasn't there. But to have that person show up and say, I'm going to take you to Negan now.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about?
No. Who are you talking about?
Huh? Morales, dude, from the Atlanta camp, dude.
Yeah.
He sent him off. He's like, all right, man, good luck. Here's this, and this. Put them in that fucking Jeep or whatever that was it. That
oh, that's right. Oh my god.
Then he took off. He lost his whole fucking family, dude.
Yeah.
He lost his whole family. He lost everybody. So it's like, so what? Now you're gonna blame Rick? Rick told you you could have came with him. He asked you multiple times to come with him.
Right. Yeah. Oh my god. I never put 2 and 2 together on that one, man. I mean, because that was way back.
Yeah. It was the first fucking season. The end of the first season on their way to the CDC.
Yeah. Yep. Wow. So let me give you my take on it on this season so far. All I got to say is The Walking Dead better step up their fucking game because I'm losing interest quick. I mean, it's just not. I mean, yeah, I get the fight, but we've seen all this shit before. I mean, it's like the Governor all over again. It's all the tactical shit, all the planning and all that stuff is great and all, but I want to see some fucking zombies, man. I was telling my wife, we were watching the second episode, and I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, when was the last time you seen somebody like get bit and turn? Like that used to be a big concern on the show when somebody would get, not getting bit and they turn. But it's kind of veered away from that. It's almost like it's veering away from the whole zombie aspect and more into the drama aspect of it with, the whole fight against Negan and just all the bullshit, It's not, I don't know. They've changed the show so much, and I'm sure I'll still watch it because I have a lot of friends that watch it too, and they said the same thing. They're like, "Oh my god," not about this season, but like previous seasons. Like, oh, it sucks, and I'm just kind of over it. And then you get a few more episodes in, and then it starts getting interesting again. But I feel like they need to do something different. Like we've seen this fight 3 or 4 times now, and they need something different.
It's always going to be that fight in the apocalypse. There's no way around it.
Right, but in something in the entertainment industry, in something like a TV show, you can only do so much of that for people to start getting burned out and turning it off.
Well, what are they going to do? What else?
I don't know. I mean, they need to revert back to the comics with Robert, with the way Kirkman has run it, and he's got some off the wall shit. Like look at the Tiger, stuff like that. I mean, that's stuff that you would never really see in a zombie apocalypse, but it makes the show interesting. It makes it off the wall. I like that off the wall stuff, but it just seems like, it's been 3 or 4 seasons since they're not worried about the zombies. Like they don't give 2 shits. Like they're riding around, letting the zombies chase them to bring this horde into the outpost to overtake them and all this stuff. That's great. But I want to see some conflict with the zombies again. Start doing mutant zombies. Do like what if they went like Resident Evil and started doing like all these mutant zombies, like, genetic mutations and shit on some of these zombies, and they can run fast and they can do all this stuff. I don't know. But
that's where the show keeps it real though. Like, yeah, it's zombies. Yeah, it's not real. But if zombies were real, we're keeping it within a realm.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way that the zombies would ever overtake you is by number. So they would never run fast. They would never mutate. They would never do any of this crazy shit. It's just a spark in the back part, in the lowest part of the stem of your brain that lights and brings you back to your primal state, and your cells and all that shit still die and everything still goes on. There's rules.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. But what if they did something like they're again a Resident Evil or some of the video games that we played, the zombie games, where the virus can mutate and it can start taking over animals. Start infecting dogs and
that could happen.
Birds, shit like that. I mean, that would actually make a pretty cool season. I mean, if they're trying to fight off these zombie infected dogs or squirrels.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, it would be a cool twist on the show, and I think it would give it a little bit of life back in it and kind of get away from the whole drama thing, because it's overplayed, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm gonna give it time, because I'm sure it'll pick back up. But you're also military. You're like into the whole like destroy and plan and plot and all this stuff. I mean, that's what you're into. I'm not. I like I watch the show because I like the zombie aspect of it. I like the characters and stuff too, but I mean, the zombies is why I started watching the show, and it's why I want to continue watching it.
So, what do you think about the future visions of Rick?
I'm a little confused as to what's going on there with that. Also, too, I noticed, I even said something to my wife as we were watching it. The whole thing of, I think it was the first episode, because it starts off and it just shows like a still shot of Rick for like 5 seconds, and then it switches over to whoever, Michonne or something like that. Well, then later in the episode, you see the same thing. I'm like, are they just fucking like wasting, like just trying to make up time on the show or something? Because why are we watching this? Why are we seeing them, just these still shots of all these different characters and their reactions to whatever is going on? It was dumb. I thought it was really stupid.
There is a good point brought up on social media. So I want to point out the age of Judith.
Yeah.
She's like, what, 2 years old there?
2 or 3, yeah. Yeah.
2 or 3. And we left off, she was still a baby, right?
Yep.
Not even one yet. Yeah. And Maggie wasn't showing.
Maggie's still not showing. And look how much what's his name has grown. Carl. Look how much he's grown.
Yeah.
But if you think about it too, how many seasons have passed since Lori died and Judith was born? I mean, that was like what, the 3rd season?
Yeah.
So we're 4 seasons later, which essentially, I mean, I don't know what the timeline is, but you figure that's still going to be 3 or 4 years. She should be 3 or 4 years old now.
Yeah.
And my wife said something too about Maggie not showing. She's like, why is she's not even showing? But I think
well, it's a little Asian baby. I'm just saying.
Well, it does make sense too, because this season is supposed to pick up right where last season picked up.
And that's why Judith is too old.
Right. She's too old.
Yeah.
I agree. Yep. So I don't know. I mean,
dude, there's
really hope that they pick it up. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I did want to say at the toy show this weekend, they're actually having one of the actors from The Walking Dead at the show. So, it is Santiago Carrillo. He played Julio on The Walking Dead, and let me see which season that was from. I recognize him, but I don't.
That's season 1.
Season 1.
Yep.
Season 4.
4. Julio.
That's what it says. Yeah. So it just said.
Oh, yeah. He was the sergeant that the governor killed. He was just a cameo, essentially. He was the army soldier that fucking
was he?
Head cut off, right? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Am I right?
I'm not seeing it here.
Not telling you.
Let's see. Yeah, it's just a backstory of him. Let me back up here and see. It says
Julio from The Walking Dead.
He's a survivor. Sometime after the Woodbury refugees were admitted to the prison, Julio was brought into the safe refuge and lived in cell block C. So he was one of the guys that was quarantined. Julio was quarantined in cell block A and witnesses a fellow survivor die.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Still kind of cool though. Got one of the actors from The Walking Dead. So I might try to, if he's not too busy, I may see about getting an interview with him. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, well, I think we're gonna wrap this one up, man. I'm starving. My wife just got back with dinner. Huh?
Yep.
And
that's weird because sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I know you want to wrap it up, but Chopper Pilot,
Oh, nice.
Julio. But he cut this dude's head off. So why is he showing up again in this? I don't know.
You think it was a reused character or something?
Yeah, he was a reused character or something.
Yeah, because I know they did that with a lot of the zombies. They'll use the same actors. Not that you can tell it's them, but they'll use the same actors for.
So you're right with that. The actual very first zombie, not minus the robotic
girl.
The little girl. She played again with Morales. Like she came back for this 100th episode. She was one of the zombies.
Oh, was she really?
Yeah, she's older. You can find her. You can find her on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff.
And I wonder if I was thinking about that too, because on the first episode of this season, remember Carl was at the gas station with that guy, and Rick shot at him. He missed him, but he shot at him and made him run off. And you see Rick kind of standing there, or I think Rick came back later, I guess, to that gas station. And I'm like, man, that looks a lot like the gas station from the first season, episode 1 with the little girl. It looked just like it. Go back and watch it.
Oh, well, I thought it was on the corners though, right? Or right off a highway.
Well, I'm just saying, like the way the gas station was set up with the cars and everything, it looked just like it. So I'm wondering if that was some sort of throwback or something to it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. With it being the 100th episode, there's a lot of little Easter eggs in there, but I think Judith is the most messed up one.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's not 3.
They've always had the timeline. I've always heard people.
A damn teenager.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Next thing you know, she'll be all grown up.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's wrap this up. We got some other stuff we wanted to get to, but we'll save that for the next one, the next episode. One of those things being, could there be a new Contra movie and show? So we'll talk about that next episode. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Make sure you go like our Facebook page. Just search Masters of the Retroverse. We are also on Instagram. I don't really post a whole lot, but we're on Instagram. Just search Masters of the Retroverse. You'll find it. I'm on Xbox. My Xbox gamer tag is xbadwolf79x. And you are?
I am Turmoil 77.
TERMOILO. Yep. And that's it for us, guys. Make sure you go check out the Facebook page, because I'm sure I'll be posting some pictures and videos from the toy show and all that stuff on Sunday. I usually try to do a little bit of like a Facebook Live thing. So if you want to see some really neat stuff, some of the toys that I see and kind of catches my eye, I will post pictures and videos of those. So until
make a press pass and talk to Julio.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Cool costume and be a dick.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna have to come up with some smart ass remark or something, because I'm gonna be Deadpool.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, we'll see everyone next week. See ya.
All right. Later.